Hello everyone, welcome to LexGAN. Today we will be talking about the Carvey stockbroking scam. Carvey Stockbroking is a company that provides financial services and is the stockbroking arm of the Carvey Group. The Carvey Group is a premier integrated financial services provider ranked among the top 5 in the country across its business segments. Before going into what exactly happened, we have to understand the role that is played by a stockbroking company. It is important for us to know that the stockbroking company acts as a middleman between us, the investors, and the stock exchange. Now, let's say I am an investor and I want to invest in a certain company. I will ask my bank to allocate or transfer funds to the company with which I have a trading account. The company will then place an order with the stock exchange. The trade will be confirmed by such stock exchange, and then the shares that are to be credited will be credited in my demat account. Generally, it so happens that when you choose a particular company as your trading company or your middleman, the securities, the shares that are there, are with such company in an account called as Depository Participant Account, also known as DP account. The shares that are there in such accounts actually belong to the client and can be pledged to meet the obligation of the respective clients only. So now let's understand what exactly happened. Carvey had 95,000 clients holding demat holdings. It transferred all these holdings to the pool account. Then it transferred those to its own account. After that, it pledged those shares and raised money from the bank. Here it is important to know that Carvey cannot pledge those shares for itself. It can only do so for such shareholders. Then Carvey transferred that borrowed money to the real estate arm of Carvey, that is Carvey Realty. So now that Carvey had taken those shares out of the hands of the investors and had pledged them with the bank for obtaining money for Carvey Realty, it failed to return those shares. It is important to note here that generally, when you do a transaction in stock exchange markets, within T plus 2 days, that is transaction plus 2 days, the shares are to be credited in your demat account. Since that did not happen here, the investors or the clients of Carvey complained to me that the shares were not received in their demat account. On 22nd November 2019, SEBI banned Carvey stockbroking over client default worth 2000 crores. It had banned Carvey from taking fresh business for allegedly misappropriating money and securities belonging to its investors in order to fund its real estate arm, Carvey Realty. Exactly a year later, on November 22nd, National Stock Exchange declared Kavi Stock Broking Limited as a defaulter for non-compliance of various regulatory provisions and expelled its membership. Carvey unauthorizedly transferred security of the clients into one of its own demat accounts by misusing the power of attorney given by its client. Over 2.40 lakh clients had complained to the regulator about money and securities not coming to their trading accounts. Carvey here had no legal right to create any pledge on those securities. In its report submitted to SEBI, National Stock Exchange stated that Carvey misused the power of attorney given by its clients. To hide this, Kavi did not report the DP account number 1145879 in its submission to the NSE from January to August 2019, and this was detected only during inspection. It is being said that all existing clients of Carvey would have either got their securities back and got it transferred to another brokerage firm or would have received the value of their securities into their respective bank accounts. Herein, the primary goal of SEBI was to protect the interest of retail investors. So now it is clear that retail investors were not impacted by this scam. The forensic audit of Carvey Group is still ongoing and is being conducted by Ernst& Young. Now the question that comes in our mind is who was finally impacted by this scam? So, in this scam, the parties that are affected are the respective banks. As ICICI Bank gave Karvi a loan for 875 crores, HDFC Bank gave Karvi a loan for 195 crores, and IndusLand Bank gave Karvi a loan for 105 crores, and similarly Aditya Birla Finance gave a loan of 100 crores. Now here they are affected as when the loan was given, Karvi had presented or pledged the securities. However, those securities have gone back to the rightful owner, so the banks don't have anything to withhold with them. Therefore, the risk factor is on the banks now. And indirectly, it is on those shareholders who hold shares of these banks. Thus, if you actually go to see the situation, then completely SEBI has not been able to secure the interest of all shareholders. It might have shifted the onus from one to the other, but it has not completely secured all its retail investors. In 2019, it was said that the scam was about of rupees 1096 crores. However, as per the latest report, it is of rupees 2300 crore. However, the exact amount shall be determined after conclusion of the forensic audit. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more such videos. You can also write to us on the email ID given in the description below for any queries or suggestions.